Okay, good afternoon, guys. How are we this morning? I hope everyone is well. Let me think where I am at the moment. It's all right. I've just got off the phone to a buddy of mine. I needed a little bit of a talking to. So I want to have a chat about yesterday, actually, at some point, and I'll wait for a few more to get in this morning. So, hey, Indy, how are you doing? Let's have a look. Where are we today? We have had some news this morning. Of course, CPI. I thought this was yesterday. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Okay. Oh well. Speedy, how you doing? Hey, Richard. Keep on you. Smile Lance. Keep on you. Oh, you used to. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, Richard. That's much appreciated. Much appreciated. So, hope everyone's doing okay. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think the last couple of days have been a bit brutal. Now, it might just be me. My patience seems to have been lagging a little bit. I don't know what's going on with me at the moment. But I seem to have a moment of clarity where I seem to read the markets okay. And then I have other days where I just seem to fall on my face. Hey, Roger. So, I don't know. I know this is all part and parcel of it. This is the trading life. And although I've been trading coming up, this style I have coming up 2 years. I did 6 months with currency previous before that. And it is a long journey. It takes time. It can take a couple of years or 3 years or 5 years. Depends on you, and I suppose it depends on how much time you put in. But it can take some time. And I've just been chatting with Nick, who chats on the stream as well. He's been traded about a year longer than me, and he's just helping me out a little bit, giving me a little bit of a pep talk, if you like. I just needed, sometimes it's nice to have a chat with other traders that are going through the same thing, and who've been through the same thing. Just tries to help clear out those cobwebs and refresh and reboot your mind a little bit. So I had a chat with him literally just before the stream. And I feel a little bit clearer now, but markets have been tough lately. Hey, Angela, how you doing? Markets have been tough lately. There's no doubt about it. When I look back 18 months, 2 years ago, things were a lot smoother. There was a lot more in the way of uptrends. Markets moved more fluently, and there was such a lot of trades. I browsed through some of my charts, and I was seeing 6 to 8 good trades a day. A lot clearer. And it seems like now, every time you see a trade setting up, the last minute it just turns into a bad trade. And it's just, you hear all, I was just saying to Nick, hey, how you doing? You hear all these, stories and rumours about the algos this, the algos that. They're designed to weed out your stops. And I don't quite fully understand it all myself. I thought really markets move purely and simply by how many buyers and sellers. It's like any type of market. You get more buyers and sellers, market goes up. You get more sellers and buyers, market comes down. And so I don't fully understand. I understand where an algo is, but I don't understand what part they play in trading. But sometimes when you go through a tough stage, you do question, are markets changing? Is it just the current climate? I'm guessing it's the current climate. Obviously, interest rates are high at the moment. There's not a lot of money around. Markets are unstable. And sooner or later, when we get back to, the average sort of 2% inflation, businesses, companies and that should then get a nice, steady climb, nice, stable growth. And hopefully things will get back to normal. That's what I believe. But I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been trading long enough to know all the nitty gritty. I suppose it's a lot of the institutional guys that probably better equipped to answer questions like that. How you doing, DJ? Good. Thanks. Yeah, Lance, I completely agree. I was much better trader 2 years ago than now. The market is a completely different beast now. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad it's just not me. The only answer I can give is the only thing that's changed is obviously the current climate. It all stemmed from COVID. Now, I mean, just from a UK point of view, I remember seeing on the TV in the morning, Boris Johnson came on and says, I'm giving you one simple order, stay at home. And that was it. Where I was working closed down. And I think, people like maybe, I don't know, bus drivers and, medical experts, medical professionals, and all that sort of thing stayed at work. Obviously, police stayed at work, military, all that. But everyone went home. Schools closed. Everyone went home. And the government was paying everybody 80% of their full salary. I know self-employed people were getting grants, so the government was just piling money in, billions and billions in. And at some point, it's got to come back. At some point, something's going to have to change. And interest rates obviously have been sky high. Everything's gone up. People are struggling. There's less money around. There's less money to invest. So, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you had a bit of savings, your job was stable, and, you put money into the I've got some of my pension in the S&P. But obviously, investment became less and less because there's less money around at the moment. So it goes to say that markets are going to be unstable. When things calm down, things get back to normal, then we should get back to more stable growth. And obviously growth means markets go up in value, but nice and slowly and steadily. So that's the only explanation I can fathom from all this. But I did shoot Mac an email, actually, just to see what he thought about all this, just to see what his opinion on it. I mean, obviously he's been around for donkey's years, hasn't he? He'd have come across stuff like this. He'd have been through the 2008 credit crunch, and it's got to affect markets. There's no two ways about it. But markets were so much straightforward 2 years ago, and things are tough now. But so what do you do in that circumstances? You just have to become more patient. You have to just wait for the setups. I had a good week last week. I felt really patient. I felt like I could read the markets better last week, and I took an average trade of one a day, and it worked. I got a good hit rate. Now, I lost one trade, and that was a slightly riskier trade, but it was only a 1.5 risk, and I knew it was slightly riskier, but I wanted to pass the PA. So out of the 5 days, I had the one loss, but I had a good record last week because I sat patiently and waited for those good, obvious trades. But obviously something changed, your mental attitude towards it, patience. I did feel like yesterday I was trading out of frustration and anger, and what I should do in future, if I feel that way, I should switch off my PA account and go onto a demo. Because one thing I'm starting to realise, and if you're frustrated with the market and you feel like you're battling to get your money back, it's the absolute worst time to trade. So what I'm going to try and do now, I feel clearer today, and I'll explain why. But it's the absolute worst time to trade. So if you're on a P account, I would absolutely advise go onto a demo for a couple of days. Take the pressure off, let yourself calm down, get rid of that frustration, and then hopefully when you feel a little bit clearer, because it just saves blowing the account, and I've blown so many. I think I'm on my 12th or 13th PA account, 12th I think. And I'm fed up of blowing them, so I've got to try and change something. But what I will say yesterday, and I'll be honest with you, because a lot of you guys have been with me from day one, and you feel the struggles. I lost about 3 trades yesterday, 2 or 3 yesterday, and I traded on yesterday. I carried on, and I did some revenge trading, stupid trades. But I got lucky yesterday. I was about $1,200 down over the last 3 days of a PA account, and I managed to get $20 in credit. So I can class myself as bloody lucky. But when I was doing it, I just felt physically sick. It's just a horrible feeling, just jumping in randomly. But, I wanted to be honest with you because for people who've been through it and know what it's like, and people who've not been through it yet need to know what it's like because it can be brutal. So I got lucky yesterday. So I traded on for about 2 hours and got lucky. So there's plenty of times where I haven't got lucky. So what I'm going to do is sort of work on the fact that I've been lucky and I've got a fresh start. Thank you, Stefan. But I got lucky yesterday, and I managed now to get the account $28 in credit, 50,028. So I was lucky. So I'm going to try and work on the fact that I got lucky and try and it's a bit of a second chance, if you like. So, okay, market's officially open 20 seconds ago. So let's see how we get on today, see if I can't muster up those patients of last week and see how we can get on. But I wanted to be honest with you guys because it's not all roses, and I wanted you to see my successes and I wanted you to hear about my failures. But it was a monumental one yesterday, but fortunately I got lucky. I'm going to remove that because I don't know. Let's leave it anyway. So let's see how we get on today. But good luck, everyone. I hope you get some decent setups. We have got some medium news at 6 o'clock, but we're usually done and dusted. I might have to finish it a little early today. We've got a visitor later, so I believe they're coming about 5, so I might just have to shut down 30 minutes early, but we'll see how we get on. So, okay. Little bit of news, quick spike up, and then came back down, and then we're sort of where we are now. So, we'll see how we get on. But it does seem to be moving up in a fashion, but we'll see. And I just wanted to mention as well, I think it was David, I think his little icon is Kermit the Frog. He mentioned about a second leg yesterday. He was right, actually. I was wrong. There was one leg down and then another leg down from the next decent swing. I actually moved it across too far. Now, I looked at a couple of other charts last night, and I know the Penguin guy did the same, but he said the correct way to do it was where that David mentioned. So yeah, if you listened to me about that yesterday, I was wrong. So don't. I just misjudge it. I'm usually pretty good with legs, but I just thought I'd mention that. If anybody thought I was right, I wasn't. I was incorrect to do that. So, okay, so we got some sideways stuff. So, see how we get on. See if we can't muster up those patients who I missed. I've said hello to you, wouldn't I? Yeah, I think so. Have I missed anybody? I don't think so. Okay. Good luck today. Let's hope we get some set up some more of a stable day. Where's my P&L not showing? Let's have a look. Yes, there we go. Roll Daddy, how you doing? ATR's quite high today. Well, it's not exceptionally high, but it's higher than it's been lately. It was averaged at around about 40% less than that yesterday. I don't believe there's any type of a trend channel yet. It's not terrible, but it's probably a bit too early to draw that. Fresh start for me. Luckily, that stupid revenge trading, I got lucky, so I've got a fresh start with this PA, so try not to waste it. When it starts like this, I give it 15 minutes to sort itself out. I think I'll drink some coffee on the back deck. Sensible decision, mate. Good on you. Good on you. Are we going to see more volume today? I think we'll see more volume. I don't know why I said that. Probably don't really know, do I? I mean, we had some news yesterday, didn't we? Some news later on in the evening, well, evening UK time. And quite often, a lot of traders don't trade that. I have heard that before, so that might be why it was a little bit less volume yesterday. But we'll see. So far, so good. Anyway, market's opened here, so we've had a reasonable amount. So, definitely some sideways here. Not sure whether we're going up or down. Are we? Actually, yeah. A good way, I suppose, to tell if you're in a trend is if this comes back to here and then moves up. But we're almost making sort of like an ascending wedge at the moment. Up, but not breaking these highs. Ugh, cold tea. Okay, I thought it may come down. You'll see that a lot of the time. Push down, side was push down, or push up, side was push up. Just does come down lower. This may confirm. Weird is that. Let's see what happens. See if it does bounce there. Okay, we have made 2 measured legs right to the nearest tick there. So let's see if we can push up some more. Maybe get a higher low. I don't know whether this is valid at the moment. It could just be ranging. I just thought I'd put that there just out of interest. So in fact, probably safer to get rid of that. It's a bit too early for that. It's definitely a bit choppy argument there. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's that measured leg. We've got a bullish bar right off here. It's bounced once, bounced twice. And let's see if we're going to push up. Tempting to take that, but it's typical, isn't it? When you leave it, it goes, doesn't it? I just like the way we'd had a couple of legs. We do seem to be moving up in a fashion, but in fact, I'm just wondering whether this is some form of a spiking channel. It's funny that, because it fits nice on the top now. Follow that colour. Let's have a look. But it is still very sideways, so you've really got to be careful. Now I'm going to get rid of that just for a minute. I always tend to put them in early, and I look at people like Marco's and Taylor's, and they don't tend to put them in until they've moved a bit. So we've got I mean, it's definitely moving up in a fashion. If you look at the EMA, we're moving up a little bit sideways, a little bit up again, a little bit sideways, down again, and up. It looks like it's going up again. But this could be a failed breakout of here, so it may come back up, or it may push up indeed. It's hard to say. NQ ripping, is it really? kind of like that. Let's say higher low. See how it finishes.
Order submitted.
Ride it back to the top. It's gone a bit too far. There's not much room, so I'm going to leave that.
Order cancelled.
I do expect maybe another leg back up to the tops here, but that would take us up to the top. Oh, one leg, two legs. I'd say I'm pretty confident it's coming up here. We've got one stroke, highest possible failure.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
It's choppy. Not a fan of all this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. May get that measured leg after all. $2-0 for the day. Took that second entry short. That one there, second entry short. Good on you, mate. That was a nice trade, that was. I like where it was, actually. I didn't even think about that. So thinking about this second leg, but I'm out. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Blew up too many accounts because I've overtraded 2 trades. Absolutely. If you get two winning trades in a row, yeah, absolutely. a feeling we'd all break out down. See, I thought up. We seem to be thinking, but the trouble is, obviously, we had this push up. We're sort of sideways now, so who knows, really? Yeah, who knows, mate? It's definitely choppy, isn't it? Ever since we've had this news, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I did like what you did there, though. That was a nice second entry, that. Right from the top. It's clearly bouncing off the top. One tick off its low. Maybe as we get another one. 1, 2. Gonna get rid of that for now. Yeah, absolutely. You can't deny that, can you? Double top, triple top. Yeah, in fact, once, twice, 3 times. Yeah. It's more like a quadruple top or whatever. But yeah, there's no denying that. Ride that back to this. Where'd you get? What did you take? Couple of points. I think after we shot down here, I'd have shit myself threw it in there. I think. Okay. Possible second entry short there. I kind of like that. See how that finishes.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Okay, second entry short. It's frustrating when it ticks you and it starts working straight back up. That's going to take me out now. Some traps here. Possible trap that I'm in. Possible long trap. You could have tried to go low once. There's a failure there, which is triggered. But we're at the top of the trend here, so there's a couple of traps. I'm in a potential one. There's one there. Could go either way here. I'd prefer it to go that way. Or it could take us both out. It could take me out and then come down and take this long out.
Stop filled.
Okay, one down. Oh, dear me. Second entry short. Oh. trouble is what I'm seeing now is it's moving up. It is frustrating when you see that. I was watching yesterday, the Penguin Trader guy, and he takes his a lot further down here. He'll let this go and let it come down so far and then take a seat. Look at that, frustrating. Stopped me out, came down anyway. I considered that one, but after this it's starting to go up, and look what happens. It is frustrating. Makes you so frustrated sometimes. You take one at the top, another one there, second entry long, second entry short, big bearish bar, and now it works. I know, it's frustrating as hell, isn't it? Makes you so frustrated. It is as if the market knows you're there and it's just waiting. I've never really thought the market was against me until lately, and sometimes you do wonder. When you take that one, I suppose that was a better one, but trouble is, what I'm seeing is it's getting higher and higher and higher, and then all of a sudden, whammo, and then down it comes. Suppose what I will say, that one there and that one there, we're in the sort of top quarter. That was close to halfway. That's the frustrating thing. Yeah, I think you got the right idea, Indy. Yeah, see, it looks like it's going up, doesn't it? So you may have gone trying to go long, trying to go on to fate. You may have jumped in there. Sorry. What was I looking? You may have jumped in there thinking we're moving up. That went up, came down, took you out. That one triggered you. Yeah, you might be right, mate. Try that once, try that twice. So there's a failure there, but it's just too close to the lows, isn't it? Although it probably absolutely tank. Jump in it, it'll come down here, trigger you and take you out. It is frustrating. Yeah, I think you might be right, mate. Mm.
Order submitted.
Second entry short, too risky right in the middle. It's triggered you. Let's see if it'll probably go up and stop you out. That's the frustrating thing. Typical, isn't it?
Order cancelled. Order submitted. Order filled.
Didn't trigger. Please trigger. Okay. I like the way we've had one leg, two legs. Bullish bar right off the bottom. Come on, give me something. One leg, two clear legs down, big bullish bar. Let's leave that there, so I'm at least guaranteed something. Hopefully we can get to the tops. We're in a short-term trend channel, so hopefully it'd be nice to get me 300 back. Now push up, come on. Take that one out. There'll be some stops there. Go on, get a bit higher. Come on. Patience, come on, push. Let me just get me 300 back. Quick push now, there we go. That's all we needed, wasn't it? Okay.
Stop filled.
Oh, well, I think we probably could have done it. Where do we get? 25 shy. Okay. If we can get above here, say, second entry short, there may be some shorts still in there, but let's see if it would have made it. At least we're back bar $25 anyway. There we go. Well, to be honest with you, Johnny, that's what I usually do. I usually go for 3 points plus. We got a short-term trend channel there, so I expect it to get to the tops here or just below the tops. That's what I'd have had mine. Just if once we bounced above here, that's what I'd have dropped in. So let's just see if it would have gone. Once it went above there, I'd have taken that. See what happens. I got out here, didn't I? So that's probably trouble is half the time it's coming right from the top to the bottom, so you would expect it to, but we'll see what happens anyway. But how's the dreaded day going? Well, I'm back to where I was minus. Well, I'm $41 down. I got back all bar about $25 there, but obviously I got the what's it? Dreaded day going trading. Yeah, it's a funny old day, isn't it? But at least we're sort of back to where we were, minus $40. I can live with that. Possible second entry along there. I still expect it to get back to here. Let's see. I think that was a right place to take a trade. See if I look at the trade I took. It came nearly down to the middle. That was clearly the better one because it had pushed out and came back and finished one tick. So that was a better trade. That one as well came out, pushed back in and ended up one tick off its high. So I think that was a better trade than that one. My patience got the better of me. I should have let that one go. One leg, two leg. Let's see if this would have got where I expected it to. One leg. Two legs. I expected it to break this here. Let's see if it would have done. Mind you, I think if I'd have sat through that, I'd have had to change my underwear, I think. Two ticks, go on. Hit the top. Actually, I was chatting with Nick earlier, and I did say that I need to sort of slow down, calm down my profit targets at the moment, and I took 275 out of that, so that was okay actually in hindsight. Yeah, I expect. Yeah, okay, so it would have worked. I'd have come out of it about. Did I have my about here, something like that? But one leg, two legs. So look. See if it comes up and it's that measured leg. Sort of blast through. Well, I'm seeing up at the moment. You know, I still like to think we're going to hit this other leg, but it's hard to say at the moment, see? But at least I'm back. That's the main thing. Okay, it's hit right, blasted straight through there, so that's good. Ooh, that's tempting.
Order submitted.
No, I'm going to leave this a minute. One leg, two legs. It is definitely two legs.
Order cancelled.
You would expect that to come down. One leg, two clear legs and a bearish bar, which is clearly broken out. It's a failed breakout, if you like. Oh, of course, yeah, Bill, it's your first day, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, good luck, mate. I forgot about that. Yeah, you mentioned that yesterday, didn't you? Oh, good on you. Maybe the lower high might work. Let's have a look.
Order submitted.
That may have triggered some long. We've got a new high. Maybe that's a lower high. Tested so many times here. That will be a lower high. Okay, we've gone up and touched that measured leg again. If that comes down bearish, that may interest me. Maybe it doesn't now.
Order cancelled.
Okay, so let's have a quick look at this. Yeah, good luck. I got a break soon later. Yeah, it has. Good luck, Bill. But yeah, just take your time, mate. Everything I do the complete opposite, and you won't go far wrong. Now, is it going to retest these highs? You would expect it to, wouldn't you? So we've had a short-term trend channel break. 1, 2 pushes up to a new high. Yeah, that's why I left it alone. I wanted to see if it would give us a lower high. Look for confirmation. See if it gives us this leg. In fact, I think actually that probably should be more like that. Push up, then 2 legs back, and then slowly up. Not been doing bad so far. Up 190. Good on you, mate. And this is your evaluation, isn't it? Yeah. That's quite a decent amount for a day, to be honest with you, especially for your first evaluation. 190. I'd be inclined, Bill, to enjoy that day being up and finish early, or go on to a demo or something. But that's a nice amount to be up. So obviously your choice. It's still early days. It's only your first demo, but sometimes I've got to say your evenings will seem so much more enjoyable is when you're green. So your choice exactly, but it might be kind of nice to finish early. Go, yeah, there you go, job done. There's certainly nothing wrong, and a lot of people swear by if they've hit a certain target or they've had 2 trades in a row, they finish for the day and go home and enjoy their day. And I suppose the beauty of doing that is you've got the luxury of doing that. You've got the type of job that you're able to do that. And in most cases, you're better off doing that, really. If your target's, say, 2 for the day, if you say, okay, personally, I wouldn't set yourself a goal, because sometimes you can set yourself up for failure. You can only give the market what it gives you. And if you say, I want to stop when I get to 2 a day, when you've got that 2 in your head, you might keep trading until you hit that 2. And if you're running out of time, and I know from experience that you'll try and force trades to hit your target. But what I would say is I wouldn't have it as a target. I would say if you do happen to hit 2 in a row, that is when you finish and go home. So I think that's a good thing to do. If you get 2 trades in a row and you're up whatever it is, I would say that's a good time to go, yeah, I'm going to go and enjoy my day. You know, spend time with the wife or the kids, or walk the dog, or, you know, whatever you want to do, whatever you do. But I wouldn't set yourself targets, because sometimes, you know, it's not like you're going for a run. I say, right, okay, I'm going to set myself a 3-mile run for the night. I mean, obviously, that's 100% doable and that's your choice. But with the market, you haven't got the choice. You can only take what it gives you. So I think setting yourself up targets can go against you. But what I would say is if you do hit something, then set yourself a finish early, shall we say. I lied, took a trade. I'm up 333. At least now I can enjoy the rest of the day, not wondering when I'm going to trade. Yeah, absolutely. It is nice when you get a winner because you know then you can sit through the next 2.5, 3 hours and you haven't got to take a trade. You're theoretically done. What's going on here? Okay, now I'm aware about this second leg. And we do seem to be in a bit of a trend channel. This looks relatively good to me. It's typical, isn't it? I took that one, look. Was I in it? Don't have a wife. Might have a get. Snooker. Big fan of snooker. They don't have a club here in Shrewsbury anymore, but I've many times been to the Crucible in Sheffield to watch the World Championships. Drove from where I live out past Stoke, Buxton, over the Derbyshire Dales. Absolutely stunning drive that is. I remember I went up there at 2005. I just brought myself a brand new Mini Cooper, and that was one of my first runs up to Sheffield to watch the World Championships. What a beautiful drive! Yeah, big snooker fan, absolutely. Okay. Be interesting to see if we get 2 legs back here. I was hoping that he may have pushed a bit higher, a bit quicker, so maybe 2 legs back down to the top here, touching the EMA, and then. But that's my target now for that second leg. That's what looks like is happening, and I do wonder now whether we are making some form of a. It's possible. It's still a bit early to do that, I think, because initially I had it off here, and actually thinking about it, it may be a spike in channel. How does that fit at the top? Not too bad. This is where you need Mac. Okay, it could be a spike in channel. Touches there. Relatively. I'm still going to get rid of it though. I like to see what it's likely doing, but go. So we had that push up, bit of a break, new higher. Then we had 2 legs back, up and across and up, and we've come up right to that. Over the last 2 years. Everyone that's doing futures trading and doing demos at the same time. Have you had any sort of formal type stuff, have you, Bill? Like joining Max? Just wondering actually whether that's. No, I don't think it is there. Possible, I don't know. Because if you haven't been on Max, been with Max Group, I'd absolutely join. It's only $125 if you haven't. I'm sure you said you might have done. I can't remember. I'll have wife and kids. Yeah, I don't want to say anything there. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'm glad I've got wife and kids, but sometimes I wish I had a bit more time by myself, I'm going to say. I don't know, my wife's good as gold. Daughter is as well, bit hard work at the moment. She's in her teenage years, so she can be testing. Just wondering. We came back here and we've worked that way, haven't we? I would say it's like that, but it is possible. You may draw your like that. Let's see what happens. See if it comes up here. Look, so I wish I'd have held on to that now. Someone's shouting to me, get out, get out, get out. Look at that. Whoomp. Yeah, I mean, it's all right in hindsight, wonderful in hindsight, but it could have come down and taken me out. But we had the 1 leg up, and it was a short-term trend channel. And usually like that, we have a short-term trend channel, we have a break and a new low. Same there, short-term trend channel, break, new low. That one that Speedy took sort of went down a little bit sideways and then eventually down before it reversed. So I did expect that one, as it was a short-term trend channel, to have a break and a new high. Same with that one. That was another good trade. Short-term trend channel break, new low, although that did actually touch the bottom. But most of the time, that's what it happened. Short-term trend channel break, new high, and then 2 legs back, and then woof, off with that. So, yeah, maybe you may draw it there, actually. Because of that spike, it's thrown me a bit. Ordinarily, I go up to there, and then we got that 2-leg retrace, and then you work back up. But obviously, because of that bit of news, we had that bit of a spike, a little bit of sideways, and then we settled back to sort of 2/3 of the way up. Yeah, I got lucky, seems like. I wouldn't say you got lucky there, mate. To be fair, that's a second entry short. The thing is, it's similar to where I took, but mine obviously was a lot longer and a lot more risk. But with yours, that first leg hadn't come up to the top. This one I took had come up to the top and then come back and then come to here. So that I can see now was a lower quality trade. Obviously, hence I ticked them. But that we'd only got 2/3 of the way up before we had a break and a new high, and then obviously it was a bearish bar. So the trouble is, mate, you could say this was good, that was good. A trade that works is a good trade, isn't it? You know what I mean? You may have took that short and it would have worked, but when it's choppy like this, obviously the best place to trade is to short at the top and buy at the bottom. But on the odd occasion, it doesn't work, and that's unfortunately the choppy market. But that wasn't a bad trade. That one, I would have said, if you're taking a short, that is probably the best place to take it because the body is right on that line. We pushed out, came back strongly, and closed 1 tick. So that is probably the ideal place. Same with that one, maybe a little bit more bullish, but there is, that's the top of the trade. Look at that, it's going to run up. That's the top of the channel. So that ideally, out of all of them, would probably be the best place to take a trade from. I'm not saying the setup was great, but yeah, that wasn't. The more I see that, we come right down to the EMA. It didn't work. If it would have worked, you'd have gone, yeah, it was okay, second entry long. But maybe a more experienced trader would have left that one. But who knows? But same again with this one. Nice place to take a short, nice place to take a long. We'd pushed out, we'd pushed back in nice and solidly. 1 tick off its high, then obviously 1 leg, 2 legs, and then trigger, and then off we went. So let me just check I've got this to the right place. Let's have a look. That looks okay to me. That looks okay, yeah. So we've literally gone right up. So would you short there? Not the worst place to short, but to me, that's picking a high because it's right in the middle of nowhere. It might work and it might not. There is a little bit of resistance there, as you can see. There was support there yesterday. Whether that'll make a difference or not, I tend to think it usually does to a degree. But we have pushed that and we have hit that. And if you are going to take a short there, it's quite a low risk. What is it for? It's 1.25. So it went for 2 points there. It worked. I mean, really, when it does that, it's not the most attractive place to buy. You would have thought, is it? Yeah. Yeah. See, I might have made it. I wouldn't have even made a tick on that one. I suppose one thing I could do is if I'm going to take a trade is let it trigger and then see what happens. If it retraces a bit and then comes back down to it, then sometimes if it's a slightly riskier one, then may give it a chance to trigger and see what happens. But if I'd have let that, it'd have triggered, come back up and stop me out. And obviously I'd have saved myself the hassle. But are you off, Sam, are you? Good on you, mate. Have a good one, buddy. Yeah, so you only made 2 points, but it does look like, mind you, it's come back and once, twice it's retested that measured low. So I don't know, maybe you take that on a lower high back to the EMA, possibly. I don't know. It's not a great trade. It's not something I want to get, and I've managed to get back down apart from, let's have a look, so it is a lower high, see how it finishes. So, One leg, two legs. So I'm going to class that, although we had a little bit of high there, I'm going to class that as a second entry long because we had one leg, two legs. So it looks like two legs, doesn't it? So that was -3. And that was +275. Is that right? Yeah. -3. It's 3 points. It's alright, I got a mic in front of me, I'm not. And that one was +2.75. +2.75 points. Okay. One out, one in. Okay. Okay, so it's struggling to get above there. Trouble is, it could go either way now. You would think it would probably come back to the EMA, but just too risky. Yeah, don't forget, guys, that 80% off is still on at the moment. In fact, I'm not sure when it finishes. Doesn't say on the website at the moment. It usually does at the top, but it's not saying it usually. It says at the top so many days left, but it isn't. So I would have said there's. When did it start? Did it start on the 4th? 9 days. There's probably 5 days left, I think, something like that. But so yeah, it's about 5 days left, I'd say. So 80% off at the moment. So if you use that code, or you have done, it's much appreciated. Okay, so yeah, I thought it might come down to the EMA after it's tried a few times. The trouble is, you just never know. So now what do we do? Let's have a look. I'll tell you what, let's just try this channel again. Maybe a spike in channel. Tell you what I'm watching again, Homeland again. I've watched them all before, I'm going through them again. Does that make me sad? No, I'd say it is probably a spike in channel if you're gonna. Okay, let's leave it about there. That looks okay, I think. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. Okay, so we had this. What's it doing that? Zoom in a bit. We've had this nice trend channel. We've had 2 legs back. Nice bullish bar. You would expect to maybe retest these highs. That's a second entry long. What is it? 2.75 points. The only thing is we've had that measured move and it's held prices and it's pushed up again and held prices there. So maybe we'll have a second run at it. I don't know. But, you would expect to break this high after that. But I think it's fair to say, if I adjust this correctly, we have had a little bit of an overshoot. I'm not convinced it is. but I'm not interested in doing anything there. In fact, you know what? When this started, and I remember drawing this channel, I says, do you remember I said a good way to check whether we are coming back is if it keeps going sideways till it gets to there. And look, that trader took. What's happened? Boom, straight out. So it has sort of, it's sort of worked into this channel, hasn't it? Strange, isn't it? Let's see if it does make this new high. It's trying to. Okay. Not a lot of room really to the top. That's the downside of it. It does look like it's trying. 2 points to that high. Today was a good example of what I look for. I'll post it to Sam's Discord later. I need to spend a bit more time there. It's hard when I got my stream as well, see. But I am a member of the Discord. I do have a chat to Sam now and again, actually. I had a message with him yesterday. He's a nice guy. But it's having the time, see. When I've obviously done my trading for the day, yeah, there we go, new high. I've done my trading for the day. I'm usually either absolutely frustrated and knackered or on top of the world. So by the time I sort of mark my chart up and set my stream for tomorrow, and then it's sort of tea time here in the UK, so I usually spend time with the family. So I didn't have a lot of time really to spend on his Discord. Maybe. I don't know if he's trading now. Is he streaming now? I don't know. Maybe. Let me have a look. Where is it? Let me just open it. I hope it's not going to pop up on the screen. I'll pop it on my... Let's have a look. Okay. Okay, I've got it open. There we go. There's no one on it. Yes, no one on it at the moment. I'm not sure how to, mate. I'm not the most. Let me have a look. I'm not sure how to. All I can do is drag it in, and that's it there. 5 trader community. So yeah, I'm not sure how to link it. I'm not the most tech savvy guy, so that's it there anyway. I don't think he's trading at the moment. I think because he tends to work, and I think he usually starts when I finish around about the 5:30 UK time, which is around 3 hours after the market opens, so 9:30, 10, 11, 12. So he usually trades about 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, that's his Discord. Okay, so we've had a break from this. We made a new high, which is refreshing actually, because so many times it doesn't do this. But we are in an uptrend at the moment, so. But it is frustrating. I mean, there was a second entry long there. It was quite a big bar, but we've gone a little bit sideways. We broke down, so you would probably expect that to push higher. So it made 2.5 points, I think. So that was okay. Where did it go? Yeah. It got 2.5 points there if you'd have put it at the top, and it sort of worked its way to a tick right at the top of the channel. So what will happen now? One leg, two. I think it was a nice trade actually there. It was a perfect measured leg, one leg, two legs. Fortunately, now we've got this trend channel in, which is touching there, it's touching there, it's touching nice. It was a nice place to take a trade actually, and it worked its way back right till it sort of it crosshairs with the bottom of this trend channel and the bottom of this the bottom of this range and the bottom of this trend channel. So it was really, when you think about it, it was the perfect place to take off, and take off it did. So back to the EMA. Let's see where we come back to, or whether we go up again. Who knows? Oh, hello. So yeah, I'm surprised actually. The way that broke through there. I'd say there was probably some longs in there, maybe. It came through quite robustly. Let's check. Yeah, I don't think there's any arguments there. We're clearly moving up. We're clearly moving up. Let me just, I haven't put my daily open marker in yet. There's 230. There we go. 230. That would be there. Boom. Locked. Okay, there's my open there. Okay, so that leg played out nicely. So short-term trend channel break. Let's see if we can have a new low and where it's going to be. So this looks like a triple test. It's a triple test. Short trend channel break. Oh, I kind of like that. I'm not a fan of shorting in the market, but one leg, two legs. Let's see how this finishes.
Order
It's not a
submitted.
huge bar at the moment. And we're right at the top. It's a triple test that. We're right at the top of this channel. See where it finishes. No, I'm not a fan of the bar. Does look like a triple test though. At least back to maybe the midline, I suppose. Yeah, it looks like a triple test to me. It's not a fantastic bar, though. That's the problem. Maybe we'll get a second entry short of it. Let's see.
Order
I'm just
cancelled.
going to take just a quick minute bathroom break. 2 minutes. Okay, sort of a lower high than that. Triple test sort of worked. Second entry long. Trouble is, you're going into the high. There's not much room to the highs, and there's not, you know, it's a bit risky, that is, I think. I'd expect it to come down probably to here, I would. The break, new high. Oh, lovely. So that would have worked. Trouble is, the signal bar was just a bit dodgy, wasn't it? So I'd have probably held, and as soon as it shot down there, I'd have dropped mine in somewhere around about there. Well. Definitely more volume today, no argument there. Definitely more volume. I suppose that's standard at the moment. Like I've been going hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, that's probably standard, that is. Sorry about that. Managed to get that trade. Which trade? Oh, that one there, did you? The triple test. Yeah, it did look like a triple test. I would have taken it if it was a little bit more bearish, but I just don't like the way. The trouble is, it's not the ideal place to buy there, is it? So went up once, went up twice, went up 3 times. It was a clear triple test, but the only thing that put me off was that bar. But then we came down, had a lower high, and then obviously I'm assuming whether anybody got in there thinking of pushing up, or whether it looks like there may have been some buyers in there, I suppose. And it dropped quickly. You got for 1 point, did you? Well, if that's what you were doing, well done. Triple test and a second entry short, yeah. A lower high, yeah. I considered it. Trouble is, my confidence is not brilliant at the moment, and it's probably going against me a bit. But you took the lower high and the second entry short, yeah. Yeah, it was probably the better trade, actually. Yeah, I mean, really, it's not. If you look at here, it's certainly not the area that would be attractive to buyers, is it, really? I mean, this measured leg's played out. We've clearly gone up. Then we've retested it 3 times, retested it again. So we've had 1, 2, clear 3, triple test, no argument there. And then wham. The good trades will move. Just trying to figure out what the hell's going on now. So we've had this, we've had 2, so we've had a new high anyway, a new low, sorry. So we're pushing up again. So there's not much room. Yeah, look at that. Perfect touch there. Perfect touch there. Perfect touch. No argument about that top line. The only thing put me off was that. Maybe, see, the trouble is on someone else's chart, it might be a tick or 2 lower, so it might look pretty okay. In fact, what I haven't done today was drawn my historical data. I've got to start doing this. Trouble is, it'll make this look like a half trade now. No, it still looks alright, I think. Yeah, sometimes things change and nothing's really changed there, to be honest with you. Let me just check that chart is still the same. Yeah, it definitely looks like a spiking channel. Touch nice, touch nice. See, after these highs, you would probably expect it to come down down into this section a bit, really, wouldn't you? When we went to the top of here, we came over to the side. So, I don't know, maybe we are going to sort of correct a bit, come a bit sideways and a bit down. I would say so. This sort of area around here, work into. Yeah, I do wonder whether we're going to do something like this for a while. Set expectations. Set expectations. No free lunch. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Let's leave that there a minute. Let me just throw that on. So my wife's just come home from work, so I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Let's have a look. Okay, I'd say this is more like this now. Just wondering actually whether this is down here. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit better actually. It's hard to say. This is when you could do a Mac. Something along those lines anyway. I did wonder whether it was going to come sideways until it gets back to here. Yeah, see, this could have been coming back here, couldn't it? Yeah, that looks okay anyway. VAH short for, I'm not sure what VAH is. VAH, something overnight highs, is it? Something like that. I have got my yesterday's highs up here. Yeah, it's clearly working up. No argument there. So we had that came down, bounced off here a couple of times and went up. So we definitely seem to be working sideways at the moment, and I'm guessing we're going to do something similar. Push up, couple of legs up, sideways back somewhere to maybe the side of this channel. Sorry, who knows?
I'm not sure about that.
Sorry about there. I don't know why Alexa came in and spooky. Okay. Quick question. Have you got your chart, your uptrend, right from the very bottom of that swing? Or have you got it as a spike and channel? Quick question. What are your thoughts? Have you got it from the bottom? So just click bottom or spike? Mm-mm-mm. Next swing low. Here. What about here? I hate it when it does that. So you're on about there. Okay, so you've got it from there. Okay. I can dig that. That looks okay. That's the trouble, really. You could do it from either, really. It sort of fits, but it's a bit higher there, but... yeah, that's the first sort of bat swing back, isn't it? And that one clearly came back. So, yeah, okay. I'm all right with that. Yeah, spike and channel. Okay. Okie dokie. Not sold on it yet. Yeah, I just couldn't short here, even if it fell bearish. Because we're obviously in an uptrend at the moment, so we're still actually moving up slightly higher. I thought it might do this, similar to this, and then maybe drop right to the low. So maybe a bit of sideways to here, and then sort of quick drop, and then off again. Okay, short and trend channel break. So it may be interesting in a short if it breaks out of here a touch and comes back. I mean, it's okay. I mean, yeah, we're in a general uptrend, but I think it's okay to short it in maybe certain places. So if you look along there, that, let's have a look. I think that's personally a little bit risky. I'd have preferred it a bit higher. I'd have preferred it to touch that measured move. See if it works. Right, it stops it out. So I got it once, so I got it twice. Possible failure. It's definitely gone slower, isn't it? I've had two guys I know sent me the same picture this morning. Another one just sent one now. Let me get it up. Marlon's just sent me it now. Nick sent me it earlier. Same picture. I'll get it up to give you a little inspiration. That one there. Now, 2 payments this month. There you go. I've got no issue with showing first names. It's on the Apex web page anyway. But look at that. 2 payments. $89,000. Mate of mine just said to me, imagine 2 of them, just 2 of them a year. 1 month, 2 months. That would sort you out, wouldn't it? So they got no issues with paying. Wow. Imagine having 2 of them a year. $180,000. Wow. Unbelievable. No, I just had, one mate just sent it me now. Marlon and Nick sent me it earlier. So they do pay. If there's any questions about whether Apex pay, they certainly do. We thought that might have been yours, Indy. Sorry if I got a mouthful of nuts at the moment. Walnuts, just in case there's any comments. $89,000 away. Suppose everybody knows about that, what you're eating. Digestive. No, nuts, actually. Walnuts. I just said I got a mouthful of nuts, and I thought, oh yeah, what are people going to be thinking? Just walnuts. Okay. Now we almost seem to be working up here. Possible second entry long there. I still like the idea of hitting this measured move. We are still working up. If you look, each trouble is you've got to be careful of not getting trapped and it come down at the bottom. That's the issue. That price is bouncing on this centre line, isn't it? If that pushes up and gets bullish above there, I may take that and roll it to the top. Because it is clearly working.
Order submitted.
Ready.
Order cancelled.
Trouble is, it could tick higher and then come back to the bottom. It's like, I am aware that we are on an uptrend, and it does seem to be working up still. Yeah. Trouble is, it did the same here. So you might be thinking, "Oh, let's get in on a nice bullish bar then," and then it comes right back to this side. So you got to be so careful. But if we can, we are slowly working over, which we sort of did there. I drew a trend channel when we were about here, and I said it may be likely we might be moving to the side, and we did. We had 1 leg, 2 perfect legs, nice big bullish bar. Obviously, at the time, I never had this drawn. But if I had that drawn now and I saw that, that's a that would have been something interesting. I mean, you're saying that, Indy. I believe, I've always been a big believer. If anybody's ever said to me, you can't do that or you'll never do that, worst thing to say that is, because I just, all that does is spur me on. So I believe, I'm a big believer in you can do anything you want in this life, and you genuinely can. Now, am I going to be able to run the 100 meters in 8 seconds? No. Because we're getting beyond the limits of, what a human being can do. but obviously being a trader, well within the limits. It's just, and I believe the more you do this, at some point, all the silliness, in fact, I have a printout here. Let me just read it. A guy called, I think it's Martin Key Jack sent me this. Words of this effect. It seems that despite everything man hear or read, and despite best intentions, it's still necessary to experience moments of madness and impulsive trading to finally be forged into a great trader. And that's part of the journey. You know, we're not meant to. Human beings, when they panic, they have fight or flight. They react. You know, we're not the calmest of people in situations where we have strong emotions. We're not designed like that. You know, we've sort of had it ingrained in us from an early age. Somebody takes away something, you want it back. Not only do you want it back, you want it back now. And what happens? We battle the market. We want our money back. But I believe the more you do this day to day and keep doing it, at some point your brain starts to accept the fact that you can't keep thinking that way, because every time you do, you lose and it doesn't work. You won't keep doing that forever. At some point, your brain will adjust. But it depends, I believe, on how stubborn you are, whether you're a person that continuously fights. But I genuinely believe at some point your brain starts to accept the fact that this is the way we have to act. You know, as human beings, we naturally adapt. You know, you walk around in bare feet out in the streets. By the end of the day, your feet are going to be cut to shreds. 3 months later, you're going to have big calluses on the bottom of your feet. You know, our bodies have got ways of adapting. You know, our bodies, the physical side of it and the psychological side, the mind's no different. You know, you can get like a young 17-year-old guy who might be lazy, doesn't brush his hair, doesn't clean his teeth, can't get out of bed in the morning, and in 6-9 months turn him into a soldier, someone who's, you know, so that brain, you can work and you can change and adapt it. It just takes time. You know, all these, I mean, I've gone to bed night after night with these different hypnosis apps playing and YouTube things playing, and I've gone to bed with some of these, I don't know, something waves, vibrating sounds playing in my head, and nothing really has seemed to work. And I've just come to the conclusion, in most other types of scenarios in life, the only thing really which, you know, you adapt to these emotions is just with time, and I believe that's the key. It just takes time. So, you know, okay, so if I look at this, we've got this top there, we try to go once, try to go twice, nice big bearish bar, which is triggered. So I would say there may be some stops there. I don't know, but it's not really a trade I want to get into even above here. Or do I? Tempting. But it's a little bit in the middle of this, so I just think it's a bit risky. Where are we going to go up to the top? Or are we going to go a bit higher and come down? I don't know. It's a bit congested as well. I see if it can break that, it may push up a bit. Yeah, failure, which is triggered and about to get stopped out. Will it shoot up? I don't know. Don't think so. But it may go to the top. I don't know. But it didn't come down to the bottom. But it does seem to be getting progressively higher and higher. So maybe it'll go up a bit more. Who knows? But it's a little bit in the middle here. Yeah. You can make, really, the human body or the human mind adapt to any different scenario. You know, that's been proven over time, no matter what it is. So you can adapt. But the trouble is, with trading, because it's so emotion, it's not something you can do overnight. And unfortunately, with the emotions that you need to control, the only way to have those emotions is to have risk. And that's the unfortunate truth about trading. You are going to lose money. You're going to have to put money in some form, whether it's your own money or whether it's a prop firm's money. I would definitely say go with a prop firm, leave your own money alone. But the only way to get to grips with those emotions and to experience what it's like is through risk. So So unfortunately, it's going to cost money. You're going to have to put money into it. You know, all I can suggest to you, if you've got newer guys in, is limit it. You know, for instance, now these prop firms like Apex, I use Apex, most of you know that by now, and I've used them for over 12 months now. And I do not pay anything apart from the 80% off. I'll only pay $33 now. I just refuse to pay any more because I've come to the conclusion that I've put a lot of money into it and I have to start thinking about getting some of that money back or limiting what I spend. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just limiting what I spend. So I would say, you know, if there's any newish traders who haven't been trading long, don't put your own money in. I put a few thousand of my own and I lost it pretty quickly. Use Apex money and use the evaluations and just take your time on them. Limit yourself to maybe 2 a month, something like that, and you'll limit the amount of money you lose. But you have to have some sort of damage control. You just can't keep throwing money at the markets forever. But my genuine belief is that at some point your mind will adapt. You know, it's proven in time. Human beings can adapt to any different situation, no matter what. I mean, fortunately, I've never been to prison, but I've known someone who has, and he said it was an absolute shock to the system. It was a guy, a drunk driving guy, basically, and knocked someone over, killed them. He was only young, very young. It was about 15 years ago, and I'd met him once. I bumped into him. There was a conversation, and that came up, and he said it was an absolute shock to the system. But it's like anything, you adapt. You can adapt to any scenario, really, but it does take time. I mean, the thing about prison or joining the military, you're forced into adapting quick, but obviously trading, it's at your own pace. So, you know, it depends on you, but, you know, if you keep at it and keep plugging away, sooner or later, because what's happening as well as the emotions are kicking in here is your skill level is constantly growing every time you get trapped or you see a move or you look at these markets every day. What you're seeing is human behavior, how human beings are reacting to a certain scenario. Like when we get up here, you know, we can clearly see we're in an uptrend. There's a couple of legs moved up. It's not the best place to buy. So what happens? It comes back down, goes up again. What happens? Not the best place to buy, comes back down. And every time it goes up, it comes down. But because we're in an uptrend, every time it comes down, it's encouraging more buyers. So it's a lot of it really, when you look at it, it's quite common sense, isn't it? So, you know, I believe once you stay day after day after day watching these charts, you'll know areas where you're going to get trapped. And, you know, so as your emotions, you know, are constantly kicking in and your body and your mind are getting used to those emotions, so they're less damaging to you, so's your skill level. So the combination of the two, sooner or later, you'll start to come out the end and you'll start to get some success. I 100% believe that. I wouldn't be sat here now if I didn't. But it does take time. It's way harder than I ever believed it would be. You almost get to different levels of being how difficult it is. You know, 1 minute you think you've cracked it. You know, you have some patience and you get some good days. The market's kind, and another days the market basically shits all over you. Nothing you can do works. But sooner or later, the combination of just the pure time, day after day, your skill level climbs, your emotions start to, you know, you start to get used to it. At some point, things will start to work. You know, that's just what I generally believe, and that's what I've heard from traders. And you know, I've spoken to traders who've been in the business for 30 years. I mean, you've only got to look at Mark Douglas's lectures on YouTube, and he was paid by some of these big investment banks to come around and work with their traders. So just because we're retail traders trading off our own money, you know, from our own homes, doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter who you are. You know, you work for these big investment banks, you're still going to struggle with the same emotions. Fortunately for other traders who work for the big banks, they're still getting, you know, paid to learn, but we're not. So it's even harder on us because, you know, we've got to invest our own money. So let's have a look at that. So that's second entry long. Went up, came back a bit. You know, a lot of the times when you get in these trades, just because we're in an uptrend, they can usually pull you out of the crapper. So that looks like a couple of legs. We'll start up, back a bit more up again. I still think we're likely to keep coming sideways a bit more. Or maybe we'll start working in this. Maybe it'll be a bit of a... It's sort of in a way a two-tiered channel, isn't it? But it's actually very much... If I actually bring that up, it's more like a range, a push up and a range at the moment, but obviously it is working within this within this channel. Just make sure I mark the bottom. Okay, so we just want to make sure I put the overnight lows in, just in case we do work down. I'm green and I hate this range stuff, so I'm done. Good on you, mate. I think it's a good decision when people say, I don't like the way things are traded, I'm going to finish. It is. Because the stubborn ones of us just keep on plugging away and sometimes end up getting stung. So good decision, mate. And I did that last one last. Half one till. Doesn't Max say they last about so long? Say 2:15 to about 3 o'clock. So yeah, it's about 45 minutes that one lasted. When was this one? When did this go to? Let's say it started about here somewhere, didn't it? So 3:30. 4:30. It's been about an hour, I'd say. Well, if you start from here, 3:30 to 4:30 here. That one kept going, didn't it? Until we hit that, and then off it went. But then you miss big moves. Yeah, it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. But I do advocate limiting your trading to maybe 3 hours or 2 hours or something like that. I think a lot of other streamers do less. I know the Panda guy only does for about an hour and a half, doesn't he? And I think the Gorilla guy, I think he only does about an hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours. I tend to do a bit longer, I do. But what I try and do is try and be aware of how I'm feeling. Now, I feel nice and patient at the moment. Everything's working nice. You know, I'm up and down. So I'm down, about $41, including fees. So I'm in an okay space at the moment. But I try and be aware of how I'm feeling. And if I feel like I'm trying to force something, then maybe that's the time to. So I wonder if we're going to get a couple of legs down, one leg, 2 legs down to here, maybe. Hey lads, gotta take pups to groom. Yeah. Have a nice long weekend. Yeah, you take it easy. Thanks, Angela. Pups to groom. Oh, does he? Yeah. See, he's going through a rough patch, isn't he? He's not having many green days at all. He seemed to have developed a whole sort of trading system of his own. You're welcome. You're welcome, Angela. You'll have to let me know tomorrow what dogs you got. We got a couple of 2 cockapoos. So you'll have to let me know tomorrow what you've got. What would be nice now is 1 leg, 2 leg back to here. Okay, so you've got a failed second entry short there, which is triggered. Yeah, it's continuously making higher lows, isn't it? I think at some point it's likely to work its way back down here, I would say. Trouble is, a lot of times when you say that, you'll get in on there. If I look back here, it did the same. Where was it? Here. It was getting higher and higher and higher, and you might have thought, well, I'll jump in there. What happened? It triggered, came 2 legs back down and stopped anyone out who went, you might have gone, there's a failure there, let's take that one, we're moving up. You may have taken that one, then 2 legs back, and there we go. So I'm aware, sort of similar scenario here, that it may have a couple of pushes back down. So if you may be in this failure which is triggered, it may come down and take you out. Same here, 2 legs down, you may have taken that one, you may still be in here. I'm not saying it's going to, but sometimes I'm aware when it does that. Because we're obviously, as well as going up, we are flattening out on the top here. And something's got to give. In a lot of cases, it'll come down and then push higher. I think ascending wedges, I follow a little bit of crypto, but I think ascending wedges, I think it's likely to go bearish before it goes bullish again. We'll soon see anyway. But it's clearly not breaking that line. Touch, 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 touch. Weak structure down to 4134. You think down here? I certainly think down towards this area. Yeah, I suppose if it does come down any lower, it may come down and sort of retest these tops, the areas here, because obviously there's some resistance there, so that might likely turn into support. I remember back when I first started crypto, currency. You start each day with basically lines. You'd pick all these areas of support and resistance. You put a line across here, you put a line across here, you put a line across here. And you'd have a bunch of lines, and it would give you an idea of where price is going between these lines, where it's likely to hit, where it's likely to be supported. So I suppose it will sort of works the same way, really. But at some point, something's got to give, and I think in this sort of ascending wedge, I think it's usually to the downside. So I think we may get something like this slow push up and then 2 legs back and then up again. So we may get something like that here. Who knows? still struggling to get above there. Look, we had that big strong push up and then came straight back. Look, closed below that line. Have another go. Same again, look, push up, came back down, push up, came back down. It's not having none of it. Yeah, it's struggling to break above that line. So if you did take that short, you may get stopped out now because it looks like now it might break above this line. See what happens. Mm. No slowing it down now. Uh, Short it now. I wish it was just simple as that, bud. Trouble is, as a rule, I would try and avoid shorting it in an uptrend, and we're clearly moving up at the moment. And if you would have shorted that, I'd say there's a fair chance you may get stopped out, or it might come back to the EMA and push higher. Maybe we can get a second entry along, maybe bounce a bit higher, come back down, bounce off here, push up, close below here. Who knows? So you could say this is a fail break out of this. I don't think it is, because it's clearly a bit of a channel. We're clearly moving up at the moment, so we've just gone sideways. But once we've sort of made a new, we've sort of broke this, we've made a new high, we've made 2 legs back down, and from here onwards we're slowly going higher. So I don't think, I'm not sure whether we're in a bit of a channel here or what. Bigger channel, it's possible. It's a bit sidewaysy and a bit up, so I'm not 100% convinced. But if we can get a couple of legs down, maybe, I don't know, maybe sit with a bullish pin bar with the head of it sat on top of that, the top of the channel, retest the top of the channel or something, then maybe. I'm not sure if that is right. I don't know. It's partly. I certainly think that smaller trend channel is valid. It's clearly sort of working between there. No argument there. But we can get 2 legs down. In fact, the trouble is, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes when it does this, it's got a habit then of doing 2 legs back, which it sort of did here. You know, it started here, then it's moving a bit higher, then a bit higher, then a bit high. You may have got in that trade then thinking we're going up, and then all of a sudden it triggers, then wham, it comes back down. If you'd have been in there, or you'd have been in there, or you'd have been in there, you've been taken out. 2 legs back, and then what happens? Rockets off. So it could have 1 leg, 2 legs down, and then trigger you, and then come back and bounce off here again. So I'm going to do the sensible thing and probably just jump in. Yeah, that's exactly what I mentioned, mate. Bolt trap. I believe you go long there, thinking right at the bottom of the channel, we go long. You're going to stop's going to get taken out. There we go. A little bit of a push down. Definitely eating a few stops there. You may get another bullish. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's easy to get sucked into these things, especially when we're going a bit sideways, bit choppy, a little bit of a breakout. Are we actually in this channel moving higher again? It's hard to say exactly. It may really, if you take away this channel, let's just take away this channel. We're in a sideways a bit, but we are working higher, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say we are going higher. See how this finishes. We could do something like this now and then come back to these lows. Who knows? See, that's what I meant earlier. 2 legs back, jump in here, jump in here, jump in here. Quite a few places to go along there. There's your new low. You might have got in there. Higher low. You might have got in there to the failure, and all of a sudden, wham, takes them all out, pushes up a bit more, does exactly the same as it did there. You may have taken that way. You may have taken that, possibly that, and then all of a sudden, wham, straight to the bottom, taking them all out, push up, another leg back, and then off again. So if you come back to the EMA, right down to the bottom again, and then offer some more. Exactly the same as that earlier. One leg, 2 legs back, and off again. Might do exactly the same here, we'll see. which is down here, yeah. One leg, 2 legs, that would make sense. I've gone from here, I suppose. I possibly could go from here. I've gone from the top there. Trouble is, if you had shorted that, it was feasible that it triggered. It may have took you out. It's it's possible, but that's what I mentioned earlier about it going up, and it sucks a load of traders in, and then all of a sudden, wham, 1 leg, 2 leg takes them all out. It did exactly the same there. You might have gone long there. You might have gone long there. You might have gone long there. I mean, there's definitely some, and all of a sudden, straight back down, broke the lows, took anything out. We had this one strong push down, which maybe took out some of these, and then another leg up and that leg out, which finished off of these and these, and then ended up moving up again. So I suppose the more you identify these patterns, the more there's less likely chance of you getting on the wrong side of it and maybe working with it. Yeah, see, this may get some more in. Be interesting to see if this triggers and comes back down. I think it probably will. Let's just move that over a bit. It's about there, isn't it? I wouldn't be shocked if that now came back down and took out people who may have taken the higher low. It might work, but sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. Yeah, you're not wrong, Nick. At least I'm more or less back to where I was. That's what I mean. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know where these are going. Let me just check. There's no way I'd have... No, even if I'd have gone from the bottom here, that still wouldn't have worked out. Even if I'd have gone from there... Let's have a look. No, still wouldn't have worked. Does look fine. I've got it sideways. So, do you know, actually, now come to think about it, let's look at this. This would be better. 1 leg down. The second leg from here would be perfect. Look at this. If this comes down, see what's happened here? We've come sideways and wham, it's dropped down now. 2 legs beautifully off there. So that would be a good place to make a second leg down from, because look where it takes us, just below, like there, just below the range. And right on the trend channel. That'd be interesting, because that might be a nice place to rock it back off from, because we've pushed up sideways, push up, you'd think push up again, wouldn't you? Come back to the lowest part of the sideways bit and then push up again. So let's see if this same sort of pattern, you get retail breakout traders hopping for it. and then getting suckered in. And I think that's the trick with the experience, isn't it? The more you see this, the more you'll start to identify areas where, and like I say, we're retail traders, and the more we get stuck and the more we get hit and hammered, the more you'll start to realise, when and where it happens. See, it's doing what you would have thought. It's pushing up again. Wow, look at that. Let's see if it would have taken out these shorts. I don't think it did. No, it missed them by a tick. Trouble is, if you were short in that in the middle of an uptrend, surely you'd be out by the time it got down to here. Even if it pushed up and came down a bit, you'd be out there, surely. I can't see there's going to be many short traders still in that trade on an uptrend with a failed breakout of here. See, just when you think it, it makes a bit of sense, it does something that doesn't make sense. See what happens here then. See if this triggers. We've had a short-term trend channel. We've had a break. New high. Still in an uptrend though. That's the frustrating thing. See if that triggers where it goes. Notice it's done that twice now. That news there just flashed off and back on. Not sure why. Okay, so if anybody did take that short, it's triggered. See what happens. Yeah, that's the problem. Going short on an uptrend. Might have worked here, but there we go. So I'm guessing there was a bunch of stops around about here. I think yours was when it Harjit. Where did you say your stop was? 3 points, so 4.8. Your stop would have been at 5.1, wouldn't it? Which has been hit. And that's the trouble. It worked that time, but it didn't work that time. That's why generally in this this strategy we don't took 5 points on that one. Where did you go from here? Yeah, I just couldn't take that because I thought we may have 2 legs down and then work back off this low. For anyone that's looking for tips and guidance on this stream, there are a few important rules to follow. Although the most important one is to do the opposite. Having said that, he won there. But yeah, I think most of the people on the stream really follow Pat's really. And we're in a clear uptrend. So rule of thumb generally, I mean, with the exception of this, once we started going up, I think it was more certain there. But obviously we had a push up, quick spike because of the news and then some sideways. So there was a few shorts available here, which was fair enough. But when we had that other push up and that other side was, it then started to be confirmed that we're, Al Brooks himself said that. What about Harji or just about not? Sure, Al Brooks said that about not going short in a downtrend. Yeah, I mean there was some valid shorts there. There was one there, one there. Obviously, every time it hit the top, apart from mine, worked. But yeah, I mean, you generally want to be. But the only bit that was concerning me about that one is it was a little bit far from the EMA. The EMA was facing down at the time, and I thought it might do something like this: 1 leg, 2 legs. And yeah, I suppose you could be forgiven for thinking it would be 1 leg. If we came up here, another leg would take us down to these lows and then maybe follow. But one thing you can be certain, in an uptrend, you just don't know, but they do say your trend's a friend, and in a lot of cases, depending on where you take a trade. So, I mean, we obviously had that one, didn't we? I mean, Harjit mentioned that one about short. It did work for him, and it did take out some longs. But the trouble is, when you're taking longs on your way up there, that's the problem. So if you'd have taken them down here, it wouldn't have been so bad, would it? But it is tough, really. It's not easy trading at the moment, and that's for certain. I had a chat with Nick this morning. There's a couple of other traders that he chats to regularly, and they hadn't taken trades in the last few days. So it's clearly choppy. We had this big push up, with the exception of the noobs. Then we had chop up and down, didn't we? Then we had a push up and then a load of sideways. But there's not a lot of setups around at the moment. I mean, that's clear. Trading is tough at the moment, so you need to be on your best behaviour when it comes down to patience. And I'm the biggest culprit lately. I've had my fair share of impatient days and poor trade. But you know, this is part of my journey. I didn't come on here as a streamer, as an experienced trader. I come on as a streamer, as a relatively inexperienced trader, and purely just to make myself accountable. And the way I see it, if you've got people watching you trade, you're less likely to do something stupid. And I've got to say, I would say 95% of the times I've blown a count is when I've come back and traded later, out of either because I've had a loss and I'm frustrated, or because I've had a win and it's been out of greed. That's where I've blown most of mine. So the way I figure, if I stick to normal trading hours, in other words, the hour I stream, I have my best shot at trying to, you know, get rid of all that bad behaviour and that frustrating trade. And just the fact that I'm, you know, talking and thinking out aloud and chatting, you know, I think the range stopped being respected a few swings ago, that might trend. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a trade. There's definitely a one there, and we had a pushback, made a new high. Unfortunately, if you were in there, you might have got taken out. That's the problem sometimes. I mean, sort of really, you want, when you get in, if you're going to sit in there, you want to keep the lows, and I suppose that's the beauty about scalping a point or two. You know, if you'd have taken, just zoom in a bit. If you'd have taken that trade and you'd have taken, what, 2, 3, 4 points, I mean, you'd have made a fair bit there. Maybe that one as well, you'd have made a few points. But I think a lot of scalp traders will be out the market by the time we hit that high, and then have a bit of a flush down. If you were in there, or you were in there, or you were in here, you'd still be okay there. So there was a sort of a bit of a push down, another reset. It was like a double bottom, and then it pushed up some more. The only bit that concerned me is I thought it may have one leg down and another leg down to the lows, and indeed the bottom of this trend channel, which in a lot of cases it does. And we may still do that. It's hard to say. But the trouble is, when you've got an uptrend, it just, sometimes it doesn't always play a game. We know roughly where it goes, but it's still choppy. There's not... I genuinely can't see a lot of good setups. That was the only one I can really see. Yeah, you know, going sideways, there was a short there, which was okay, and I think a lot of other traders would take that one as well. And that long, you may see if you'd identified this as an early stage, but it's early, isn't it? And I only sort of identified this trend really when we started working up a bit higher for another leg. But if you had identified that a bit earlier, then you may have thought that was a golden opportunity, and look, didn't it take off? If you took that, you know, 5, 10, 15, you know, you'd have been on to 18 or 19 points, whatever. But only took one trade in the last 5 days. Yeah, I don't think you're on your own there, Chad, and I think you're among the most sensible traders out there at the moment. Because I know some traders, I was chatting to a mate earlier, some other guys that in his circles haven't done the same. They haven't taken a trade. And it's much better to not take a trade than a poor quality trade, because all you end up doing is frustrated and fighting your way back up to where you were. So it's much better. Fortunately today, things, I got the opportunity to redeem myself after this trade, and I'm with 25, I'm about $41 down. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. But sometimes it is best to wait for good quality trades and leave the rest alone. Fortunately, when I managed to get back to almost break even, I decided then to just to take my time, and my goal is only 2 trades in a week, 4 or 5 times, so I'm picky as hell. Well, I think you're on the right lines there, Chad. Absolutely. But good trades, really good trades, do jump out, don't they? They almost, it's like jumping out in front of a car and waving, isn't it? You can't help but miss them. So the really good trades, they do that. And in the bottom of, let's say we had this clearly drawn earlier, 2 beautiful legs down, sat right at the bottom of this, nice and bullish. It's a good trade. Unfortunately, at the time, we didn't have this drawn. But even in a, what I will say is, if you are shorting or going long in these ranges, I think they're much more successful if it breaks out and then comes back. My trade didn't. If you look at everything else, that broke out. Well, that actually worked, but that trade there that young Speedy took, second entry short, we had a little bit of a breakout and came back. That one, we had a little bit of a breakout and came back. That would have worked to the middle. That one, we had a good breakout and a good strong pullback, and that finished, as far as I'm concerned, as good as that one right at the very bottom with a breakout, and that worked beautifully, and that worked beautifully. So, you know, picking trades like this, okay, but my trade was literally a couple of ticks off the middle, so that was quite a poor trade, actually. That's just down to lack of experience and just lack of patience and poor judgment. But luckily, we had 2 nice legs, and don't underestimate these legs. They work beautifully, and look at that one leg down, 2 legs down. Now, you might have said that wasn't a second entry by the books, but 1, 2, it's clearly two legs back. And then again, right off this bottom, same here. Not a brilliant setup, but in the same sort of position, right at the very bottoms, and clearly seem to be in an uptrend. So best places to take trades, really. But so you're saying shorted again. You just can't do it. I mean, really, that's a second entry long. In fact, I'm tempted to buy that.
Order submitted.
That's a second entry long. See if it comes and gets us. Second entry long, just to ride it up a couple of points. Come back and get me. Push up, new high, 1, 2 legs back. Push up again, I don't think it's going to do it. It's gone without me. I thought there may be some shorts in there, so that's a shame. That was me chatting. Let's have a look. Yeah. You'd have had 2 points off that. Oh well. Never mind.
Order cancelled.
I like that. 1 leg down, 2 legs. I mean, it clearly 1, 2 legs down. EMA's facing up. I thought that was all right, that. Short-term trend channel out, break, 2 legs up to a new high. 1 leg, 2 legs back. Sat on the EMA, finished on its high. Look at that. Nice. We may get 1 leg, 2 legs. It might come right up the top here now. That's unfortunate I didn't get in there, but oh well, shit happens. Did he? So anyway, so there you go. Second entry long, yeah, it was a triple test as well. 1, 2, 3. Oh well. It's frustrating, isn't it? You hardly say anything for days, and then when I'm having a chat about what's going on here, we end up getting 2 beautiful trades. It doesn't often happen. I don't often miss stuff, really, but the only reason I'm chatting about that is because I'm coming up 3 hours, so I was about to finish anyway. I just didn't think we were only going to get anything worth having, but there you go. That might be one of the better trades of the day, that one. I thought that was good there, but that would have been a nice trade, and you'd have certainly comfortably got 2 points, even if you'd have got out of the high. But there you go. It didn't come back for me. I wasn't prepared to go and chase it. So there you go. So that's it for the day, guys, I think. So at least I've got back to near on where I was, uptrending day, but a push up, a lot of chop, push up, a lot of chop again. Certainly some areas where you could get trapped, but you've just got to be on your game a bit and just be aware. But a lot of this comes with practice, and the more I do this, the more day by day, the more mess ups I make. the more times I get trapped, the better things become. So there you go. I always save my chart at the end of the day so I can always look back. So 1 out, 1 in, and there we go. So yeah, that would have been a nice trade, but there you go. I bet a lot of traders would have taken that. I'll see later. Maybe working one leg, maybe up again, I would say. One leg and up again. But there you go. So that's it for today. I'll be back here again tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. So don't forget that 8% off is still on at the moment. I think it's on for about another 5 days. And there's my code. If you choose to use it, I appreciate it. If you have used it, it's appreciated. So there you go. But there it is if you want it. So that's it, guys. I appreciate you all hooking up with me. Another journey, another day, some more lessons. You know, that's how it goes. So if you're carrying on trading, good luck. Otherwise, have a great evening. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow, and we'll do some more. We'll do it again.